Hello, this is my Analyze and Improve presentation for Dr. Joyner's 575 class in regards to my Six Sigma project for increasing my usable vocab. So a quick recap. My project was to increase the words I use or the vocab I use day to day. And I've tried doing this before, but I tend to get overzealous and use too many words and not be productive. And so with this, I want to try a different angle. And why I want to do this is just to build confidence and being able to express myself and my ideas differently with a wider range of vocab. So with this, my goal is to learn 15 new words each week and to actually use my new vocab. And so that'll be 5 days each week. I will learn 3 new words each of those days and then use the new word the same day I learn it. And then review the words throughout the week and then keep a vocab journal as well. And so the quantitative measurements I chose were the words memorized per day, which I checked off of a word list, the words used per day, I wrote down in a logbook, and then if I wrote in my vocab journal, which I checked the amount or the entries that I did. So all of these together build on each other, memorizing, then using the words and integrating them into my vocab, and then writing about it at the end of the day can help me reach my goal. And so that was the point of those metrics. So this is a check sheet for my measure phase, and I used a similar one to my Analyze and Improve phase. So this is a U-chart key. So Sunday through Tuesday and Thursday and Friday, I had 7 goals for each of those days. To learn 3 words, to use those 3 words, and then write in my journal at the end of the day. And so I kept track of the defects, and so I could have a total of 7 defects per day. And then Wednesday and Saturday, I only kept track of writing in my journal because it was a review day. And so they were only worth 1 point each for that. And so with this is the U-chart for the measure phase. And as you can see, it's a little bit rocky. It's a U-chart because there's a variability in the subgroup. And as you can see though, I improve over time, over the days. And as I get closer to 0, that means I have less defects. So with this, I created a Pareto chart to figure out where I failed those other parts, those other days. And so on the left, there's a frequency of how often this is a problem. And the line above the bar is the cumulative total between all of the different sections. And so the first section is not journaling is the important few. And then also not using my words and not memorizing were the main things that cause problems for this measure phase. So the next step is I created a process flow fishbone chart, and it shows all the things that need to happen for me to reach my goal and all the steps leading into each of those. And so as you can see, there are 3 steps that I can improve on that I mentioned in the Pareto chart, which is 1, working on writing in my journal, 2, work on memorizing my words, and 3, work on using my words. And so with that, I had 3 areas of improvement. And these are how I planned on improving. So not journaling, I was going to keep my journal next to my bed so that I could always be reminded before I went to bed to journal. Number 2, not memorizing my words. I would write my words on note cards so that I could always keep them in front of me and I could always remember to use my words and to memorize my words. Number 3, not using my words. Those note cards can help me remind me to use the words throughout the day. and then I could write how I use them on the back of those cards. And so this is the U-chart for the improve phase. And as you can see, like the previous chart, 1 is the most defects, and 0 is 0 defects. It's pretty good at the beginning, and it gets a little rocky at the end. But there are improvements. This is a Pareto chart of the Analyze and Improve phase. The same groups as the previous Pareto chart. One group that I improved on was the non-GRE words. And so that wasn't a problem in the Analyze and Improve phase. And so this is a quick comparison of the two U-charts between the two different phases. And as you can see, I improved in the Analyze and Improve phase. However, there are still improvements I can make. So because of this, the next step is I analyze with hypothesis testing how close I was to my goal for each of these phases. And with this, I use two-tail testing with alpha being 0.05. And so this is the compare words learned. And then the next step is to compare the words between the two phases, or to compare to the goal of the words that I used, and then also journaling. So this first step, compare words I learned to the goal of 3 words. So the measure phase was 2.35 words per day, and the analyze phase was 2.48 words per day. However, both of them were not close enough to the goal of 3, and so there was a significant difference, and I had to reject the null hypothesis. The next step was the words used per day, and my goal was 3 words per day. And so for the measure phase, I had an average of 1.9 words per day. And for the analyze and improve phase, I had 2.44 words per day. There is a marked improvement. However, compared to the goal, both are significantly different. And so I had to reject the null hypothesis for both of these as well. And then lastly, to compare my journal writing to the goal, the measure phase was an average of 0.42 times written in my journal per day, and the analyze phase was an average of 0.82 times written in my journal per day, and the goal was once a day. However, both of these are significantly different to the goal of once per day, and so I had to reject the null hypothesis. So with this, there is improvement I can make. I have made improvement, but I can continue to make more improvement. And so in closing, my future timeline for this, I've finished the define phase, I finished the measure phase, and I'm finishing the analyze and improve phase. Next step would be to reevaluate where I am and how I can improve from there. In regard to this project, the final presentation oral is due the 10th of December, and the final presentation written is due December 15th. Future steps I want to continue beyond this project is, one, to review my words more often so I can integrate them better into my vocab, and then also to keep my note cards an easier place of access instead of my backpack, so that I can be reminded more frequently throughout the day to work on this project and to increase my utilized vocabulary. So thank you so much for listening. Please give suggestions. Thank you.